Okay, good Shabbos, everybody. I wanted to give everybody a message for Shabbos for Parshas Re'eh. You can see the beautiful Mishkan behind us. And Parshas Re'eh has the mitzvah of Tzedakah in it. The Rambam tells us that we have to be more careful about the mitzvah of Tzedakah than any other of the positive commandments in the Torah. Tzedakah is amongst the Jewish values in a rarefied category as something that requires not just our attention in terms of fulfilling a mitzvah of tzedakah, but it really forms a psyche, a mentality of always looking for opportunities to be able to reach out to other people with respect to this mitzvah. So if you would ask me, what is the essential Jewish philosophy of tzedakah? So I would say you have to look carefully at a pasuk in this week's parsha, which tells us maybe why people don't give tzedakah. So the Torah says that when there will be one of your brethren, achicha aniyacha bi'artzecha, there will be somebody who's in a difficult situation. They've fallen on hard times. They're in dire straits. So the Torah says, of course, you should open your hands. Kifatoach tiftach es yadcha lo. But before the Torah says that, the Torah tells us what we shouldn't do. So the Torah says, lo sikpos et yadcha, you shall not close or clench your fist and withdraw your hand from him. If you look more carefully at that pasuk, that's not where it starts. The Torah says, before you have to get to lo sikpos et yadcha mi'achicha avyon, the Torah says, lo amet es livavcha v'lo sikpos et yadcha, that it starts in the heart. Do not harden your heart to your brother, and as a result of hardening your heart, right, do not therefore clench your fist or withdraw your hand, withdraw potential kindness that you might do for that person. Tzedakah doesn't begin by taking a pen and writing a check, or by going on the computer and making a donation. Tzedakah begins in the heart. Tzedakah begins with what a person thinks and feels, and the capacity to empathize with the plight of another person. And I think that here, this is really where the real work of tzedakah is done. In our own minds, do we perceive whatever funds we have as basically proprietary, basically our own, basically a tribute to our own ingenuity and hard work alone? Or do we understand on some fundamental level that it's a pikadon, that it's a trust that God gives all of us? And God says, I'm entrusting you with this. Yes, take care of your family with it. Yes, there is chayim shel osher v'chavod. There's a value to having a dignified life. And that is, as Chazal tell us, something which can be marchev libo shel adam, can give a person a greater sense of dignity, a greater sense of esteem in the healthy sense of the term. But surely, to understand that pikadon, that trust that God gives us is indeed something that we need to give to other people, that God is putting us in a position where we have the capacity to change other people's lives. And that message is either in a person's heart or is not in a person's heart. The Mishnah in Pirkei Avos tells us that somebody who says, Shali, Shali, v'shalcha, shalcha, that what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours. So one opinion is that's a midah beinonis. The other opinion is that is a midah Sodom. And Sodom, of course, is the antithesis of everything that Avram stood for, everything that we stand for, as the Rambam says, Zera Avraham, as the children of Avraham. It's a mentality more than it is anything else. Shali, shali, v'shalcha, shalcha. What's mine is mine and what's yours and yours, and we're all going to go our own separate ways. That is the opposite of what it means to have a Jewish point of view, to have a tzedakah orientation. As the Rambam says, Chayavin anu lihizoyer b'mitzvahs aseh shel tzedakah yosem mikol mitzvahs aseh shevatorah. It's not only in the disbursement of funds, it's not only in the allocation of funds. Yes, of course, the Rambam meant that, but lizoher connotes a sense of awareness, a psyche that is constantly thinking about the needs of other people and our capacity to change their lives for the better with a generosity of spirit that then turns into a generosity of giving. Nobody asked for this pandemic, but surely one of the most important opportunities that we have, and we don't even fully understand the scale of it just yet, because we're still in the throes of trying to recover from a public health standpoint. But one of the critical opportunities that we all have will be to make good on this cardinal Jewish value of tzedakah. Remember that Hashem chose Avram for this reason. Ki yadativ l'man asher yitzaves banav espeso acharav v'shamru derech Hashem, that they will guard the path of Hashem. That's why I'm choosing Avram. What does it mean to guard the path of Hashem? La'asos tzedakah u'mishpat, to hold fast to justice and to hold fast to the mitzvah of tzedakah. What a singular opportunity for all of us. Just to conclude with the story from our own shul, a number of months ago, when the government gave certain protection to individuals who may have suffered losses as a result of the pandemic, one of the earlier acts of Congress, individual in shul gave a very substantial contribution to the discretionary fund. And the person said, despite the fact that their workload had indeed been reduced, the person said, I have a job. This really was meant by the government for people who are out of work, who are unable to generate any income. I'm sure it could be put to better use. One of the great moments of my rabbinate, not that I take credit for it, a deep internalization of what it means to be Zera Avraham, to think not in terms of Shali, Shali, V'shalcha, Shalcha, but to think in terms of Los Ametis Livavcha, do not harden your heart